Monday, March the 26th, 2018, to you. This Skripal affair is still producing consequences. For start, Britain's allies expelled Russian diplomats from their soil. Even Mrs. Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, asserted she would expel Russian spies if there were any. The US evicted around 60 diplomats and shut Russia's consulate in Seattle, Washington. That is a very important move, considering that Seattle is the home city of, among other firms, Amazon and Microsoft. For its part, Iceland announced it would enforce a diplomatic boycott to the 2018 World Cup scheduled to take place in Russia. Consequently, I would like to reflect on an eventual massive boycott to the most important event in world soccer. First of all, boycotting a sports event is not new. Indeed, in 1980, US President Mr. Jimmy Carter called for a boycott to Moscow Olympics due to the recent Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. 65 countries followed America. Eventually, the Soviet troops withdrew 8 years later, showing how ineffective boycott is as a means of pressure. By the way, the Soviet Union boycotted the Los Angeles Olympics 4 years later. I ignored what Moscow pursued back then and if it achieved its objectives too. Personally, I do not like boycotting events like the World Cup. I do not like when politics mixes with business. Perhaps private contractors, Mr. Putin's friends in this case, earned a lot of money with such events, but host countries seldom get some profit. Furthermore, in 2014, Dutch professor Han Kogels, Erasmus University Rotterdam, warned that Brazilians would pay heavily for FIFA's obscene tax abuses. On the contrary, FIFA made $4.8 billion off Brazil World Cup in terms of advertising, merchandising and broadcasting rights. A global boycott could harm FIFA instead of Russia, I am afraid. Even so, postmodern football fans does not only cheer their own respective home countries, but also watch their favorite stars like Mr. Lionel Messi or Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. Consequently, an effective boycott should include Argentina and Portugal, but that would be politically disastrous. How could both President Mr. Mauricio Macri and Prime Minister Mr. Antonio Costa explain to their respective countries that they would not participate in the World Cup in Russia due to this Skripal's case? But on the other hand, a general boycott could be even beneficial for Russia. Without some of its eventual rivals, the Russian team could end up winning the tournament. Of course, that would not be fair play, but it is the Putin's way to achieve victory, is it not? In sum, boycotting is not for suckers. The world is still on.